All right. Here we go. Hey, everybody. Kathy Arbor here. And it's another Thursday. Hi, Ann. Hi, Lena. I love your drawing. That was so funny. Ah, your book came awesome. We're going to play in it today. So that should make Janet and you and whoever else has the book. Yeah, I saw that. That was so funny. It's just some days there's something about the drawing and you don't understand why it is going the way it's going until you what I like to do if I'm really having a problem is I'll blow it up. I'll make a copy of the picture that I'm drawing, the reference, and I'll make a grid on a piece of acetate, and then I'll use the grid and put it over top of my drawing, and then I can see what's out. It won't be right on, but you can see what's out. Hey, Janet, you're all set? Yep, we're gonna paint. Gonna have fun. Hi, Linda. Judy. Shauna. Hey, CB. Good to see you all. Hope you're all having a great day. Whenever you're arting is a great day. Hi, Colleen. Gina. It's super cold here. I think it's supposed to go up to 6, maybe. That's not Fahrenheit, that's Celsius. And tomorrow, the high is going to be 2, and it's supposed to snow tomorrow. And our low is going to be -3. So I'm not too happy because I don't know. We're supposed to get a few nights like that, and that's probably going to damage the flowers, my plants. So I don't know what it'll do to them. I'm hoping that the the weather people are wrong and we wake up and it's a beautiful day. Yeah, good thing I didn't put any seeds in my vegetable garden. Poor things. So as you remember, we did this last weekend. It was our file folder. Well, actually, no, I think I just did it on a file folder because that's what I had in front of me. But I think I'm going to use this for May. I haven't done anything inside yet, of course. So, yeah, you can do these on, I think I better go out a bit just so that you can see my entire there table. So these are really fun. If you want to see how I did this, it's last week's tutorial. And it is a live. For those who don't like lives, just use that little bar on the bottom and zip through. I have been getting a few comments about that I didn't say it was live. Well, it's live, people. I will be doing some just videos. I have some actually already, but I haven't put them up yet. Oh, please, CB, send me some, please. Uh, that's a problem, Janet, because they're all precious to me. Ah, yeah, and I have such a huge garden. Some of them I'm not too worried about, like my peonies. They're not up high enough that they would probably be damaged. They're pretty tough, but stuff like my lilies and um, irises, they've been getting slammed this month, and they're looking a little tattered right now. So I'm hoping that they'll just come back. They won't die to the ground, but they look pretty yucky. Oh yeah, I won't mention that again. Robert's pretty darn lucky I'm not his wife, because I would have. Oh man, that would have drove me off, over the wall. I'd be putting a big rock in front and back of it. Big stop sign. That's what you got to make. Hey, Kim, Elizabeth, Cheryl, Jilly, everybody. Good to see you. Yeah, what peonies? Exactly. So, yeah, you can go in last week's and watch if you want to see how I did this. And this is mixed media with there's papers, there's napkins, there's what do you call that? Paste, dimensional paste. There's embossing. There's scrapbook paper. All kinds of stuff in here. I did watch. What was it last night? I watched Journal Artista, Art Paula, and she was showing through all her neat books. And she was wanting to have some ideas on how to go about doing her next endeavors of art. So I thought, I don't know if you've seen this one. I know you're probably watching, Paula. This is the way I do kind of a journaling slash collage slash drawing book. And you might be interested in doing something like this because I do this by, I've just covered up my words. I do this by writing in a separate book of my days I want to remember or stuff that I want to remember. And I'll put the date that I wrote it, but I don't do it every single day. I don't write every single day. It's just when I want to think of something. And then once a week, once a month, whenever you get the time, I'll take that book that I have all my written material in, and then I'll do my drawing, my collaging, watercolor backgrounds, whatever, and then I'll add my stuff to this. So it's not a chore to do it every single day. You do it when you have the time. So I just thought I'd show you that because this way is a less stressful way of doing what would you call this? Visual journal, I guess. And then he just collects stuff from wherever, books, magazines, scrapbook paper, your own drawings. You can print out your own artwork and put it in here if you want. It's basically whatever you want to put in here. It's something that can be about your day, it could be whatever. But I like doing it this way because I'm not I don't feel that I have to be dedicated to do this every single day. I can do it on my own time. And I think that's when a lot of people kind of get discouraged is maybe at the end of the day they're tired or in the morning they're too rushed to get out their journal and do it. So they fall behind. And then when they fall behind, they don't feel like they can continue. So they give it up. So just thought I'd throw it out there for you, Paula. It's fun. You can do whatever you want. And this is just a book I got from Winners. So you can use it, do it in any kind of book. This is my second one now. But yeah, just thought I'd throw it out there. I enabled a bunch of people. That's what we do. And I know a few of us have this book now. And it's the Beginner's Guide to Watercolor and Mixed Media. So I love this because it adds all media, just not paint like acrylic paint and colored pencil or pan pastel or something like this. It's everything. So that's why I like this book. It even includes sprays and watercolor and pan pastel, oil pastel, ephemera, collage, everything, anything you can think of. So I thought I was looking through them and I thought I would try this one today. So anyone that wants to art along, that would be great. And then if you could post it, Art with Kathy or Art with Cass, I guess. Art with Cass, and then put it on Instagram or Twitter so I can see it. I would love that. So, hi Paula. I don't know if you just saw what I showed you. Just reading the chat here. Thanks, Judy. So what I'm going to do is if you want me to, I can read out everything that's needed in this. Or you can buy this book and then come back to this video. It's probably the easiest way. So you could just watch what I do for today. Now this can be done with anything. It can be done with any picture, any florals, whatever. This is such a great book. It's got step outs, different types of techniques using all of the different mediums. Now you may have to buy some of these mediums. There are a few things that are in this book that I do not have, but I've got something similar. So if you don't exactly have that thing, get something that's similar and just try it. It's just paper. This is how you learn. And it's supposed to be fun. So don't get all stressed out about it. Just try it and see what happens. So today I'm going to use just a piece of this bee paper. And I'm just going to put it on this board here. And I have some washi tape that I can put on top of this. Hopefully this is good washi tape. I have a real problem with my washi tape for some reason. I'm just gonna de-stick it a bit. This one's really sticky. Eileen, you're a help. Kathy doesn't have something. It's true, I don't have something. I don't have everything. I don't have brushos. Do not own brushos. So I'm going to use magicals. And I have quite a few magicals. I haven't used them much, but I do have them. So, hey, let's get them out and use them. So use what you have first. And then if you really like doing this type of thing, then go out and buy the stuff that they recommend. But don't go and buy a bunch of stuff if you don't need it, especially if you decide you don't like doing this. All right, so first we have to draw the picture. I do know that Patty Tully Parish has a stencil of the poppies. You could use that if you want and just trace around the stencil. It doesn't have to be the exact picture. You can do something different if you want. Just reading here. So I'm going to draw, I think these are called Chinese lantern plant, I think. It's called Facilius. We call it Chinese lantern. Or I do anyways. I'm just going to put this book in pencil. This is just a standard HB, 2 HB. And let's see. We have 3 sticks coming up. Like so. And then the poppy is here. It's not a poppy, it's a poppy seed pod. And then the other one is here. So you just draw them out. Don't have to draw them really exact. This is a very loose way of doing art. I like it. It's kind of sketchy looking. So just a rough drawing is fine. All right, then we have one there. We have a stem coming up like this. And then the bells or the lantern thing. I had some of these in my old garden in the other house. They weren't mine, they were seeded. But oh man, did they spread. Did not like them at all. And one here. You can always erase. I'm just drawing the ribs in the pod. I guess it's a pod. Let's see. And on here. So just draw loose looking. And there was one, looks like here. I'm going to put it out a bit. All right, then just take an eraser and erase wherever areas that you had to cross over. Because remember, when you're doing watercolor or anything that's transparent, you're going to see your lines from your pencil. So try and make them as light as possible, just so that you don't have to see that. Unless you like seeing it, then leave them in. Okay. So there, just a very loose painting or drawing of where I want to go with this. Okay. Next. It says pre-wet the area around the outline with water from a spray bottle. Soak the paper well. Pre-wet the area around the outline. With a spray bottle. Well, it'll probably be easier. Well, I guess I should be doing exactly what the book says, right? Okay, where did I put that spray bottle? Have one. I have one of these Ranger mini misters. Instructions are silly. There we go. Well, we'll see what happens. Okay, and let's see. With the size 14 brush, drop in cobalt violet into the background and where the leaves will go. This is a nice establishing color. Don't be too concerned if it goes over the main subject matter. Encourage the paint to run and drip. Hold the paper upright. Okay, so here's my cobalt. This is Winsor Newton Cobalt Violet. I may have to and my brush, just had them out. Where did I put them? $14, so a big one. Okay. Well, this is Da Vinci. It's a 16. Good, close enough. I'm just gonna wet it. This brush holds a lot of water. So we want a paper towel or a cloth beside you. Dab in. Nice and soppy. And then just go to town. And then they said let it drip and do all kinds of stuff. Then take up, it says Jane's Gray. I've never heard that one before. Is anyone here? And it almost looks like kind of a mauvish gray. So I'm going to say it's shadow violet. We'll see. Let's see. Get a piece of paper. Yeah, that's what it looks like to me. Shadow violet. Shadow violet's got a little bit of purple in it. So, go down into the wash with shadow gray, drop in the gray. Be brave with the color as it does go pale once it's dry. Work quickly or you will miss the boat for putting down the leaves. Oh, all right. So you got to work fast, apparently. For the leaves. Okay. Hold up the paper again and let the paint drip and run. Okay. Okay. Then lay the dried leaves on the damp background. Think about the composition, but keep in mind that everything can be edited. Ah, see, I don't have dried leaves, but I did have regular leaves. So we're going to improvise. This is actual poppy leaf. So I'm thinking we'll see what happens. I don't know. They're hairy. I might have to put they do stick. So just tear some, put them on. So you can go out into your backyard. Even dandelion leaves would probably work because they're kind of jagged like a poppy leaf. Use whatever you can find. I don't know if this will do anything or not. We're gonna find out. all about playing, seeing what happens. That's all part of mixed media. That's the way I look at it. Another lady that does this is, what's her name? Kaylin Holmes. She's another artist that plays with leaves. I think she puts hers in the freezer. She says it works better because it makes them limp. Okay, let's see what it says. When the leaves are down, feed them, drop more color in and around the leaves to add to the drama of how the leaves take on the pigments. Okay, so we'll add more of those two colors. And see what happens. I'm not even cleaning my brush in between. Maybe I'll put some on the actual leaf. Then put it down. And it's all about experimenting. You don't have to do exactly what the book says. This is just to help you do mixed media. If you want to do something a little different, go ahead. That's how you find new ways of doing things. It's fun. Put some more of this color in. I can still see my drawing. I'm putting it on fairly thick too, because I know these will fade. Okay, next, add some brush out into the mix. Sprinkle it into the paint using, oh, well, they didn't say to do that in the paint. They should have, there's a mistake on the book. She should have said they made a big thing of it. They didn't. Costume with rough surface and tap the powder into the paint for granulation. You know what? I'm just going to sprinkle some on. And I've got this moon shadow one. So that's the one I'm going to use. What can I use to put it on? I'll use this. All right. Got my sketch. How's everyone doing? Am I going too fast? Now, I'm going to spray mine. Add a few more areas, brushes, spritz. See, I don't have a spritz, so I'm going to spray mine. And see what happens. Tap the powder into the paint. Da, 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 da. Add a few more areas of brushes, spritz the powder, and with the water, allow it to move and spread. Drop the paint upright once more and allow the paint to drip again. Okay, so they want you to drip the paint after this. And wipe away some excess areas that you don't want the paint to be in with a kitchen towel. So let's see. Okay. I don't know. Let's see. Seems like a lot of. And let it go down, I guess. Okay, let's wipe that up. Three. I'm just going to take some of this water away from the bottom so it doesn't bloom. All right. Use mini pins to pin the leaves in place. What? Stems can be reluctant to sit in color. So, see, they should have said to have a board that you can put pins in. And they didn't. So then you have to let this. So if I put it says to let this dry completely before you lift. So I could put something on these. And let that dry. And we'll see what happens. So I'm going to put this to the side for a little bit. And this was the other book. Carolyn Holmes, is it? I think, Polly, I think you showed this book. I love this book too. She's, Love her work. And she's done that same thing. I would call her a mixed media artist also. Let's see if I can find that one of her leaves. Oh, we did this one. Do you remember this one? Where did I put that? Look, I'm pretty sure. Here. Well, maybe not. It might be here. Yep. Here it is. I think we did this on a stream. This was really fun, and used dimensional, like a puff paint, and then you painted in that, and you had a very, very wet piece of paper. So really, really, I love this loose look. That was fun. That's this one. This is a really, she also has the CD on this book that is awesome, like it's 9 hours worth of content. And it was only like $30 for the CD. It was well worth it. Where is it? She does some really cool abstract too. She's very, very, she's not stuck in one type of mixed media. That's why I like her so much. I don't see it. Where is it? I don't know. I might be thinking of her DVD, or not DVD, her CD. No, it's a DVD. Yeah. What am I thinking? Oh my gosh. Yeah, and she uses the plants. I can't see it in here. Oh well. But awesome book. I want to do some more of those too. But yeah, that was fun. All right, so you remember that one, Eileen? You hope you have that book. The CD is awesome too, Kathy. If you like watching online classes, I prefer getting a DVD over an actual class because I can play it back over and over and over again. Thanks, Judy. Another thing you can do pick out a few while we wait for that to dry. Remember we did this? That's another watercolor. And then, so we did the background, then we did the trees, and then we doodled the trees in different Zentangle things. And then you can add some white to the background as highlights for the sun to come down into it. That was a lot of fun too. And you could do this with anything really. You could do it for branches, you could make trees, leaves, hair on a girl would be cool, clothes, all that kind of thing. That was very relaxing to do. And as you can see, there's no real wrong way of doing the background. It's just a bunch of splatting, really, and then of different colors of green, leaving a little bit of white if you can. What? What are you talking about, Joan? What colors of that one? I love it. You could use white crayon and oil pastel to get white pastels. Yeah, you could, Deb. Very good idea. Um, yeah. Ostrich feet. Yeah, it does kind of when I think look at it again. So there's there's so many ways of doing mixed media. Here's another one. Xander would like that one. This is scrapbook paper. I don't remember who makes it. It's just white on the back. We did this, I think we did this in Ustream. No, it would have, yeah, it is Ustream. November 1st, 2016. So what we did, or what I did, is find a picture of a girl. So I found this girl in a magazine. So I just used from here to her head. This, I think this was a rock from a tissue paper. No, not tissue paper, a napkin. So I cut that out, put her on it as if she was holding on. And then just did a little bit of extra white pencil on the side of it. Kind of looks like seaweed or something. And then painted her tail. Used a stencil for the crisscross. There is a stencil. And made her fin. And these are just pictures, magazine pictures that I cut out and posted on. But these bubbles, they were already on the paper. And this was a piece of tissue paper that we did. So I glued that on so you could see through it. So you can really play with scrapbook paper. It's really fun. Dendritic, yep. Yep, that's it. Debbie, good memory. Was that magazine girl? Was that a magazine girl? Then add hair. Yes, I added her hair myself. The arm and the head to her, to about right there. You can see where the magazine ended right there. And then I just made the body. Yeah, it was so fun to make. So get out your old different types of scrapbook paper and do stuff over top of them. You remember this, Judy? And then, of course, you remember this one. This was scrapbook paper also, Halloween. So the spider and all this was already on and spooky. And then I drew the pumpkin head on and added the cobweb and the moon. So you incorporate drawing and whatever onto whatever is existing on your scrapbook paper. So this one was done with paint and pencil crayon. So I got a ton of scrapbook paper. I want to do more of these. I think they're fun. And then you could make this into a great big, put it in one of those scrapbook books because they're 12 by 12. So let's go and see. I'll see if the paper's drying yet. Still pretty wet. I'm gonna use my hair dryer because this is gonna take forever. We'll see what happens. Eileen. It did work. If you had to let this dry for about probably an hour, and you could lift the leaves up. But it does work. I see the leaf print. My leaves don't leave a print. I think that it should have been dried leaves that would cling better to a wet surface. Um, Throw them in the freezer for about 20 minutes, Lena, because then it makes them limp and they'll lay flat. I think that's the main thing that you have to worry about is it does it lay flat? go to the bar. Starting to smell the leaves cooking. I'm just going to take them off. See the pigment has gone into the paper already, so it's just a bit of water sitting on top. So I'm just going to dab that. Here. Well, they worked. It's a matter of if it's here. So it did work. So I'm going to dry that more. You get some more texture, Lena. I like that moon shadow, because that's what gave the browns and stuff that's coming out. That's cool. Are you doing it, Anne? Did you have dried leaves or did you have fresh leaves? See, they don't say to put the paint. I think if you have dried leaves, maybe some of the paint goes through the leaf. Yeah, I would like that too, Anne. I think that would be cool. Here. But see how the brown outlined the leaf here? That's cool. So I imagine those, what ones are the ones that have the walnut stain in it? Is it Brussels or is it one of the other ones? Because that would be cool. Oh, awesome. That would be cool. Yeah, the rose leaves would be awesome. All right. Let's see, where are we now? When the painting is completely dry, remove the pins and carefully lift off the leaves to reveal the shapes in the paint. If there's any sticking, remove them. Working on a disposable palette. Pour sand over white acrylic paint using a flat palette knife. Now, I don't have any sand. Let me think. Mix the sand into the acrylic paint, but put the areas of texture into the seed heads using the white acrylic paint and sand mix on a tapered palette knife. The acrylic will repel the watercolor as it dries to a film. Let me think. What could I use? Wish I had some sand. I don't. Trying to think what else I have. Gritty, something gritty. Do I have any? I might have some something rough, coarse. Let me see. That would work. If I can get it open. Because although it's not sandy. No, it's too smooth. Let me think. Poppy seeds. Well, that's a good idea. I don't have any poppy seeds. What do I have? Pepper? How about pepper? That might work. Salt would melt, basically. Let me see. I have clear gesso, holding paste. I have beads. Oh, wait a minute. This will work. Knew I'd use it for something. This one the same. Heavier. My brother gave me this when they gave him samples for what he used his business for. I have tons of this stuff. He gave me all this. This is from Germany. See? It's glass. It's fine. It's not real fine though, but this would work. I have it in silver, red, blue. I think this one might be finer. I have really coarse, I have thin. Oh, this is thinner. This might work better. That's gonna be cool. So he gave me these samples and I never knew what to do with them. Oh, I know. This company is what makes all the makeup colors for like the sparkle, all the glitter for companies. That's where this stuff came from. That's what I'll do. I'll use this. All right, so white acrylic paint. Got some titanium white. I'm just going to use cruddy embossing powder. Oh, that's a good idea. And I heat it up. I wonder what it would do if you did. I don't know how much. It doesn't say how much you were to put in. A little more. Got lots. There. Here. Okay, so it says, okay, put areas of texture over the seed heads using the white acrylic paint in the mix on a tapered palette knife. The acrylic will repel the watercolor as it dries as a film. Okay, tapered. So this is a tapered. All right. Yeah, seed pods. All of them? Don't put the acrylic paint sand mix all over the seed heads. Well, make your mind up. Okay, so then it says don't put the acrylic paint sand mix all over the seed heads. Simply put in some interesting textural marks for ridges or highlights. Sculpt the seed heads with the paint. At this stage, if you have too much brusho or watercolor on your seed heads, you can see all the acrylic paint to erase it. That doesn't make sense. At this stage, if you have too much brusho or watercolor on your seed heads, you can use the acrylic paint to erase it. Well, okay. So all of the seed heads. So now this could be interesting. There's one. So you don't have to put it, I'll put it on the areas where there's paint mostly. Wow, now it's kind of hard to see. Look at my picture. Okay, there's one here. one. This is the other one here. Then here somewhere. I think it's here. That 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay. Let's see. Are they putting any on the poppy seed heads too? Acrylic paint along one edge of the plastic card. Wait a minute. I think all of the seed heads have to have it on there. Looks like. Okay. So this is the poppy. And the other poppy was, sorry, I'm not looking at chat right now. Just have to find my poppy. There it is. I always make too much. What could I do with the rest over? I think it goes up like that. All right. There are only two. They're the round ones. So, but it shows them doing all of them. Okay, then it says paint acrylic paint along one edge of a plastic card and use this to paint along the stems. You do not have to work in a perfect straight line. It can be quite hit and miss. Allow to dry. Okay. You could use a palette too, though, or palette knife will work the same. Some acrylic paint. I might have to take a break. I can hear my dogs whining upstairs. They might need out. What time is it? Oh, I shouldn't, but let me do this and then I will go let my puppies out. Okay, so yeah, I think that's it. Down there. All right. What's the name of the book again? There you go. Okay, I'm gonna let that dry and I'll be right back. I have to let the dog out. Oh, never mind. Book. Okay, let's dry this. I'm not gonna wait. almost dry. How's everyone else's going? You tweeted? You're fat. Oh, you're using ivy. Cool. Takes a while for this stuff to dry. Well, it's a little bumpy. If you look at the picture, it doesn't see, you can hardly see the granulation of the, see, of the sand in there. So I'm thinking probably if you use even pepper would be fine enough. Or even a really heavy gesso, a really gritty gesso would probably work too. Okay, let's see what else. Okay, use a number 14 brush, put in paint everywhere, alternate between pile orange, cobalt violet, and rose of ultramarine. See, I don't know what this rose of ultramarine is either. I'm guessing it's probably a burgundy, maybe? So I have the Pyro Red. Where did I put my palette? I'm going to use my number 8. Let's see. Where did I put that mister? There it is. I'm just going to mist my palette. I have Pyro Red here, or orange, and I would say, let's see what the color this one is. I would say it's a maroon, similar to Quin Violet, but lighter. Quin Violet? Let's see what this one's for. Quin Violet seems to be very close to Cobalt Violet. Well, let's put the orange on anyways. I want it fairly watery. And that's the other one. Okay. Had to make sure where what was what. The other. And there's that one. And then you can also take some off. So I think that's what I'm going to do. Because it's so bumpy, I'm just going to remove areas. I really don't think this real bumpy stuff looks right. But we'll continue, see what happens. Because there's no way I'm going to be able to draw on that. It's way too bumpy. If I took some of it off. Improvise. Take some of this bump off. Too bumpy. I could leave the sparkles though. It's bringing out the sparkle of the glass. The stuff would be cool on other stuff, but not for this. So I'm taking it off. Look at that, it's still even wet underneath it. I don't mind a little bit, but not that much. I'm roughing the paper up so it'll give the same look. There you go. Just rough the paper up if you haven't got sand. It'll give the same effect. It's way too bumpy with that glass. Be cool for other things like a in a mermaid picture or something, or in a abstract painting would be cool. But yeah, way too bumpy. Improvise. When you don't like something, don't throw it out. Don't start over. Just try and fix it. Sometimes you get some really cool results. Here. Now let's dry that because there's wet paint under it. Similar to Quin Violet, but lighter. Add line details with brush marker at end. The rock surface. No, I didn't like it. It was too rough. Because it just needs to be a very fine texture, not a real. Looks like the sand she must be using is like very, very fine, because there's no way regular sand would be that fine. Yeah, maybe a grit paste, or like I said, a really gritty gesso would work. Okay, let's fix that now. She said don't put it everywhere. So I'm kind of putting it on the shadowed areas. There's some ribs, so remember to do those. A whole lot easier painting without the bumps. Okay. Let's see, using the side. Okay, put down the color and use water to blend in. What are they talking about? Think about the fact that you have a dusky blue in the background, so the foreground should pop. definitely with the color that is a seed head and what it is and what it isn't. That must be the, okay, using pyro red, cobalt violet, and rose marine. Cobalt violet and rose of marine. Okay, so the cobalt violet, I think the rose of marine is supposed to be a little bluer. I've lost the shape here. Should be out more. Let's bring some. Okay. Then we take the gray in a smaller brush, using it to paint some of the shadows and make the seed heads look more three-dimensional. Let's finish with this. Poppy head. And this, a little more. Oh boy, we got an idiot. Go away, you're not wanted here. Go back to your grade school lessons. Let's see, what else? Okay, the gray. We want gray. So I'm going to take the Daniel Smith Shadow Violet and put in the shadows. Yeah, it's kind of bumpy still. Kind of hard to put detail in when it's so bumpy. But this is how you learn. And you can't expect to do like a masterpiece on the very first thing that you've ever tried. Something new. Okay, so let's see what else. What else? Okay, while the paint on the seed heads is still damp, using, okay, we did that. Add more shadows to the gray. Okay. Lift some texture from the surface to add interest to the background. Place a plastic stencil over the painting. Grab a magic sponge in your water and dab over the stencil to lift off the color. Okay, I don't have a fabric or one of those magic sponges, but we'll try it with just a regular sponge stencil. You want not too big of a pattern. Let's see. Finding something. I want well, there's one. Let's try this one. Just a stencil here and a sponge. I know I got a bunch. Put them. I cleaned my room and now I can't find it. There we go. All right. Wet my sponge a little bit and see what we can take off. And if we can't take off anything, then I'll just put wash on top. Is this these are mostly Daniel Smith. I think one was Winsor Newton, but they're pretty staining. So you may not get a whole lot off, as I'm seeing here. Let's see. No, you're not getting that. No, you're not getting that off. And I don't want to rub the paper so much that, okay, so we will do something else. I have some gouache somewhere, or I could just use paint. I think I'm just going to use paint. Palette. Because it will seep through the paint, but it'll be lighter, so it'll look the same way. So just tap off. And then you can just put some swirly doos. Here and there. Doesn't have to be a lot. Now I gotta take this. Be right back. Sorry guys, I had to take that. I have a delivery coming. And it's not art supplies. It's dirt. And I want my dirt, even though it's supposed to snow this weekend. There. See, it does sink back a little bit. You could go back and put a little more in later. Let's see. Okay, after we do this, let's see. Apply the same effect to some of the seed heads using the similar stencil for this. I've used one that is tie rack pattern to give texture. Okay, I can do that. So see, now if I had left those really rough texture, there's no way I would have been able to put a stencil over that to make it look proper. Let's see, that one. Seeing if I can find one that's not too big. I think I could try that. Okay, I think I got what I want here. Well, that one might be kind of cool too. All right. So we have. No, I think I'll use the small one. So we'll use this one, but I'm going to use the smaller area on the stencil. So I'm just going to put it in the center where the highlight would be. And I'm going to angle it to the way the right. So, let's see. No hairdresser yet, but things. Yeah, a lot of people are their hair, eh? Mine is getting so long. We are due to get news on Saturday about the way the government plans to start opening. Yeah, hopefully things can get back to a little bit of normal. Okay, with a size 10 round brush, begin to paint negative around the stems and the seed heads with the gray, tempting to paint around everything is the way to put the. Okay, so we have to make dark where's my brush? It's with the gray, which is, where did I put it? water to it. Just put it in here for now. And actually, I'm just going to wet the areas. So it's kind of like negative painting. And then I'll add my gray and let it bleed. That gives it a nicer look. Just let it bleed in. It is a very loose way of painting. Depends how dark you want it. Getting in the zone. Happens. I always get in the zone when the details start. Seems to just suck me in. Depends how dark you want things too. I think that could be darker. Yes. Here. All right. What else? For the next stage, take up Posca pens. Oh, Kathy, Posca pens. In shades of orange, pink, and blue-gray. I don't have Posca pens, but I do have other paint pens, so I'll use those. Okay. Those right there. Yep. All right, so I have, this is really bright though. Like this is neon. Let me see if I got a little calmer color. No, I only have this bright one. Well, let's see what it's going to do. Use the Posca pens to pick out fine details. While the pen ink is still wet, take a damp brush and blend the pen into the rest of the paint. Posca pen inks are opaque, so you can get rid of a lot of definition back over the darks if you have lost them. All right. Well, this one isn't even primed. It's a kind of a fat nib too. Or I could just take some paint and do it. We'll see. See how thick it is. I have pink. No, I don't have pink. Kathy, reach over the lake and borrow some. I wish. Okay, let's see. So, woo. Yeah, she's bright. But you're supposed to take a, let's see. I need a different brush. And we can do. I don't know if I want to. Interesting. Look at that. I'm not going to have the realistic look of what she's got, that's for sure. This would be one I'd have to do over again to get the more of a realism look. Because, yeah. But it's fun. Very fluorescent. Right. Let's put some of this on the edges here. Make this a little bit less noticeable, the line. Blur it out a bit. Makes it look a little bit smoother. Not bad. All right. Then some blue or pink. See, put some color from the poppy seed heads into the, okay. So bright. We need some of that in there. Just to bring some of that color into this too. Not much, but just a tad. It's a little more cohesive with everything else. I'm just putting it at the top because I know the light source is there. This is looking like, holy jeez. What else? What other color was there? Posca pen. How many? Was just the orange on a blue. Do have this blue, and it's a smaller one. Graphing pen. Ooh, that one spilled. This does not like the paper. A little bit wet. I should let it dry. Let that dry a bit. Uh, the illusions won't work. I'm not using illusions. These are graphing. All right, let's see what else. I need a little bit more pink here. And I need that. And you kind of have these, I don't know, swirly things. Pieces of pink again. Nah, not enough pink. Finally mix a little zinc white gouache in your flame orange and okay, so make some splats. I think I have too much pink because these look like these. How can I fix this? So splats. Need a big brush. Something that I can do splats with. I have a deer foot, and I think if I put and divide it, and there's that orange. And then I think it needs to be more orange though. And some pink. It's not really bright. It'll do. Add dark rust brown on few of pods to minimize pink. Okay. Rust brown on. Not liking it. I think this was a fail. I don't want to hold it. Too bright. I think we're going to put this stuff. I could show you. I think what threw me for a loop is the that rough texture. It was too rough. See? It was just too, look at, it's like, see how textured it is? It's way too rough. Now I could probably let that dry and put some more stuff on it. Probably, I don't know. I don't like it. I get a trim. I still like it. I'll do mine a little later. Well, I'll try it again, definitely, but this is how you learn, right? You have to see. I like a little bit of detail, and I'm not able to put a lot of detail in this. And I'm not fussy on orange and pink. Oh no, I guess they're all out full force today. But it was a learning experience. I will do another one, and I will probably post it with this one so I can show you what I like to do it. That's the good thing about these books is it gives you the tools to do the different methods, and it's up to you to use them to the way you would like to see your art. Lena just tweeted hers. Oh, I gotta look. It's probably fantastic. All right. Oh wow, that's fantastic. Look at that. See, she has the detail. So, Lena, awesome. That's what I like. Kathy, can we have a quick book flip, please? Oh, of the book? Of this? I don't do the acrylic. Oh, you didn't. That's why. Yeah, you can tell that it's very soft. It's very detailed. Like, look at that's gorgeous. I love it. And did you use the any kind of grit in yours? Oh, you said you didn't use the acrylic. Think of it as a new species. Perfect. That's true, Debbie. Still think you could have painted it better if you didn't read the words. Probably, CB. Um, no, I'm on her paper and it's got texture. Oh, okay. Well, yeah. See, there's something to learn um, by playing with your stuff. Yeah. Or did she do it in the beginning? No, I didn't do it in the beginning. See, there's another one, a little more darker. I like the texture, but I think it's too much with for me, it's too much. The grit was too much. It had to be a smoother finish to it. Because I like detail, and if you have too much grit, can you see it properly? So it tells you all the color mixing, your brushes, paint, um, all that stuff. And then it starts with hellebores. So it gives you all the step outs. Now, I must admit, they were a little vague in certain things. Like there was a few things that they should have said beforehand, um, before you started the next step. Ah, both are lovely. Ah, thanks. Found it. Paula got it. Yes, daughters. Um, but there are a lot of really interesting techniques in here. I love that. Silver dollars, they call them. And I love this. I love pastels, colored pencil. So it tells you all the materials, what to use, papers. Um, Here's Riley. This is another step out. And this is a combination of watercolor, oil pencil, um, oil pastel, chalk pastel. Yeah, so real mix. So I like the fact that it shows you how she incorporates all of those products. And it's obviously it's something you have to work at. You can't get it right off the bat. You have to work at it. If you haven't experienced um, the process of doing this, you don't know what to expect. I'd like to try that. I love that too. So watercolor with dry media, so colored pencils and watercolor. This is pretty too. Wet media, sprays and resists. It's definitely a book to try things in and then put it into your own work in a different way. Um, yeah, the ebooks are a lot cheaper. I'm not an ebook person. I like the physical book. It's just me. There's different found objects, how you can use them on watercolors. Here's ice or sugar cubes, feathers. So we can try some of these things and put them into our own work. That's what we just did. I love these poppies ones. See, that's her watercolor and Posca pen. So I do use a lot of white acrylic marker on top of watercolor. I do like doing that in collage. So it's a really great starter book. I like this idea too, where you imprint the letters and then when you put watercolor over top of it, it soaks into those imprinted areas. It looks cool. You can do that with embossing something with an embossing tool in your work too. Different kinds of, yeah, it's a good book. See, this is cute. See how they embossed the lettering in the background there on the field? That's cool. A little different, stuff you haven't seen. I've got a few different books similar to this, so I want to try more of this and then we'll try it in our own work. This is cool. Look at that. The tree's done with stitching. That's neat. So it is a good book. So there's that one. Then there's abstract acrylics. We haven't done anything in that yet. I got this one a while ago. This one's also a really awesome book. Again, it's the a little bit of the real detailed stuff and then kind of a watery look to it. I love this book too. And it uses a lot of pastes and transfers. Look at that. That's beautiful. Magnolias in spring. They only give you written. They don't show you step outs, but I'd like to try that one. That's pretty. A lot of stencil, that type of thing, sprays. Photo transfers. Ah, there's one for the fish caboodle book. Funky Fish, was it? Jeez. I do like acrylics, I must admit, I do. There is a lot of things you can do with acrylics, I must admit. Oh, look at that. That's pretty. Got to do some more in these hollyhocks. This is pretty. Got to do some of these. That was a good book. And then the realistic abstracts is another one. I love this style too, where there's just an indication of people or objects. And it's just usually a outline or a different hue. This is more or less eye candy. Gives you an idea of different things you can do. It's a neat book. All right, so that's it for me today. I don't know who else is on today. I'm sitting here with my eyes shut going, you saw those already, Janet. I could show you all kinds of books, but I won't torture you. So, okay, awesome. I'd love to see them. And if you're still here, I'd love to see yours. So don't forget to post. Yeah, okay. So you guys have a good rest of the week. Get creative. Enjoy. Venture into something you haven't tried before. And then see what happens. All right. So we'll see you all later and have a good weekend. And happy Mother's Day. I forgot. It's Mother's Day this Sunday. Wow. All right. We'll see you guys. Bye for now.